Thank you very much, Bwana Chairman, for joining us today. I know you must be a very happy man now that the budget estimate that you had tabled yesterday has been passed by the members of County Assembly. Mheshimiwa, could you kindly tell us your experiences throughout the preparation of this budget?
Thank you very much. As you said, first I want to say indeed I'm the happiest man today that we've passed the budget for 2020-2021 for the county government and county executive and the county assembly. Indeed, it has been a tedious exercise, planning midnight oil by my committee to make sure that we deliver the best for the county. So over this period, we've been working on the budget estimates, and today the members approved the report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee, making some recommendation on the budget. As you asked about the challenges, for sure we experience a lot of challenges. One, at this period when we have a COVID-19 pandemic, which has posed a lot of challenges, especially in terms of meetings. One, as by law, we are supposed to do public participations when doing budget. So we were not able to do the public participation as has been a practice. We normally do public participation in the ward level or even in the sub-county level. But this time around, immediately when we were planning even to invite a few people for the public participation, a case was reported in Bomet, and that scared us, and we cancelled everything. We were not able even to do the few number of people per ward. We had planned as a committee to invite at least 3 people per ward. But when a case was reported in Bomet, we cancelled everything, and we did public participation online. Secondly, members, the restrictions of a number of people meeting. We were not allowed to meet total members, so because of the number of people that are supposed to be coming. In an ideal situation, we have 13 members of budget, and then the secretariat. So now we are normally up to 20. We have even our legal team who are supposed to be advising us on the legal concept. We have the secretariat, the research team. But this time around, we reduced to the required minimum by law that we have a few people meeting.
What is different from the budget that you have passed today with the previous budget, the budget for the previous financial year?
The difference between the current budget and the previous budget is on the revenue, but we are anticipating reduction in own revenue, the local revenue, because of the pandemic. So, of course, there are no much local revenue in our county. So that is the difference, and the budget is reduced. Even in the national assembly, government, the allocation from the equitable share from the national government will reduce. We anticipate, we are yet to receive the CARA, and it is going to reduce drastically.
We are also aware that currently the country is working tirelessly in reducing the number of cases of COVID-19. As a budget committee and as the county assembly in general, what did you do on this budget that helps in reducing the pandemic?
Thank you very much, Victor. I want to say, first of all, we have really been very sensitive on the department, the budget touching on the Department of Medical Services and Health. We have had 2 supplementaries that we were doing to make sure that we were reducing money from other departments, reducing some money from the development fund, and then adding to the Department of Health. I want to say the Department of Health, we have allocated 1.9 billion. It is the highly funded department in this budget. And over time, we have been very sensitive on the Department of Health because it touches on the lives. And I want to say in this one, there are 2 successive supplementary budgets that we did. One, we were doing immediately after the report, after the directive by the President, that we stop any development and fund the COVID-19. So we have funded Department of Health well to make sure that we are prepared in terms of preparedness, in terms of treatment, in terms of facilities, in terms of, in case of a case is reported, we've been told, we told the Department of Health to give us what they need. One, they told us that we need to be prepared in terms of having an isolation center for the doctors. We need to have the quarantine facilities that are equipped. They told us we need to have oxygen to supply in the quarantine centers, in Koiwa and in Lokisa, so that in case of reported cases, we have enough oxygen for whatever number of patients that might, cases that might arise. Mm-hmm. So we have been able to fund the Department of Health over time, and I want to say even in this budget, we gave them the highest budget, and we never touched. If you will see, we reduce from other departments, but the Department of Health, we maintain the way it was, the way they submitted, we really respect it.
Apart from the current pandemic, I also noticed that in your budget, you just didn't focus on COVID-19, but you also put more money in roads, agriculture, water, and several other departments. But some things to note, Mheshimiwa. For example, in the Department of Agriculture, you allocated 23 million for construction of tea buying centers in 18 wards.
Yes.
Now, how are you balancing all these wards such that the money that each ward receives is equal among all the wards?
We have started over some two successive, we started in the previous supplementary budget supporting the tea buying centers. You are aware that our county is divided into two zones. There is the upper zone, that is tea growing zone, and the lower zone that they are not growing tea. They are majorly livestock keeping zone. So we made sure that we are sharing the cake of the county equally by allocating the lower zone in the Department of Agriculture, something that touches on livestock. And then in the upper zone is something that touches on the agriculture and crop basically. My committee has allocated 23 million towards supporting the tea buying centers, and we have allocated 11 million towards the construction of dips. So you will see a fourth in the Department of Agriculture, a fourth on crop development. Then the other one is livestock. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now,
in the Department of Water, I noticed from your budget reading today that you allocated 105 million additionally to water infrastructure, but you reduced 20 million from Bomet Water Company.
Yeah, it is true. Department of Water is the third largest funded department in this budget. The total budget for Department of Water is 475 million, which we have added 105 million for water infrastructure. That is to extend the water that we are giving to our people. And we also reduced 20 million from the Department of Bomet Water Company. That is a subsidy that we normally give to Bomet Water Company. And the CEC, as ever over time, when appearing before the budget committee, the concern of the members have been, where is the revenue from this from Bomet Water Company? Where is it going? We have been allocating 100 million, 96 million, that is subsidy to Bomet Water Company. That was touching on majorly electricity. But when the CEC appeared before my committee, over time we have been asking him, where is the revenue that is being collected by this Bomet Water Company? And he has been telling us that they have promised that we support for some few years, and then they will be able to move on their own. So one is that we have started winning. We are winning them, winning off from being relying mostly on the subsidy, but we want them to learn to utilize their own revenue. That is why we reduced 20 million, and then we want to see how they are going on. We expected the Bomet Water Company to be able to raise their own revenue to meet some expenditure.
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa. Now, which means that the 105 million is only meant for infrastructure?
Yeah, 105 million is for infrastructure.
Okay.
Expansion of infrastructure. Okay. So
Okay.
the department is doing the expansion part, and then the water company are doing the supply of their supplying water.
Okay. Now, normally in all these budgets that you've been passing, as members of the county assembly, you have always focused on roads. What could be new on this budget that you have passed today?
This time round, we said we are changing that, and we want to thank our partners through the Kenya Devolution Support Program. They have given us 167 million, and we said we are going to, instead of going the traditional way of tendering and doing the roads, this time round we agreed that one, we are going to purchase 5 graders. These are going to go to the sub-county. We are going to purchase 3 excavators, and we agreed we are going to purchase also 3 rollers, and these machines are going to be distributed to the sub-county. We have also 2 rollers. We have also 6 lorries, the tippers. So the 167 million will be able to help us in making sure that we improve our road network through our machines. You find this time when we had this rain, the heavy rains, they destroyed our roads. And the only way that we are going to make sure that we have good road network, because that is the only economic driving force in our county. We said we want to improve our economy through the good road network, so we are going to buy these machines to go to the wards. And there is one thing, Victor, that I forgot to tell you under the Department of Water. Apart from the infrastructure, the county government, in the other budget, we had factored in the purchase of a drilling machine. The drilling machine is already in the county, and in this budget, we have factored in some 40 million for equipping of the boreholes. We want immediate, as soon as we drill a borehole and we get some water, then there is the equipping of that borehole. Equipping means a tank, a pump, and then water is ready for distribution. So we are factored in under water again. As I told you, the highly funded department is that one of water. We also made sure that we have some money for the equipping of boreholes, because we already have the machine. The machine is starting today. It will be tested today. I heard that the governor is launching somewhere tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Then it will be hitting the ground, drilling boreholes in the whole county.
Okay. When we touch on personnel emoluments, I noticed that there was a reduction from the previous budget. Why is that, Mheshimiwa?
In this budget, the 2020-2021 budget, the total budget is at 7.3 billion. That is our budget for this year. And the personnel emolument is 2.5 billion. The O&M is 2.259 billion. The development is 2.523 billion. You will realize that the law requires us that PE should not be more than 35% of the county budget.
Yes, that's true.
And then the law again requires us that development should not be less than 30%.
Yeah.
So in the CFSP, we reduced to make sure that we conform with the law. So we are now at development 34%, and P it's somewhere at 35%.
Okay.
So we are within the law.
Which means previously maybe it was just slightly above 35%.
Sure. The P had gone even up to 37%, and that is where it was raising a lot of issues, and we even had to even at the other time we had to counter the CEC finance, and we had to tell him to clearly tell us why the PE was rising even beyond the required standard by law.
Now, can you say for sure that this budget was in conformity with the county fiscal strategy paper?
Thank you very much, Victor. This budget conformed with the county fiscal strategy paper. Our duty when we receive the budget, the law requires that it is submitted within a given time. Then one of the duties of the budget committee is to scrutinize, to inquire into, and to check the budget and investigate. One of the things that we did, the very first thing is to check that the budget conforms with the county fiscal strategy paper. Yes, you are aware, we passed the county fiscal strategy paper, which is setting ceilings for the departments. So our very first duty is to make sure that the ceilings are observed. So this budget was in conformity with the county fiscal strategy paper.
Maybe I can just take your final words, and maybe you can also tell the ordinary Mwananchi whether, just confirm to them that there has been an improvement from the previous budget to this budget, and maybe your final words.
Thank you so much. In fact, I want to say to the residents of Bomet, today we have passed the best budget ever. This budget is basically touching on development. We were very sensitive to make sure that we are keeping a budget that touches on the Mwananchi, the Mwanjiko. So apart from the COVID-19, we are very sensitive to the fact that we want to keep water to our people. We want to have good road network. We want to have ECDs. As you are aware, we have increased the allocation to completion of ECDs that were constructed and installed, and then new ones. So this budget basically is the budget for the common Mwananchi. Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.